We are back. And Celia, I think I wanted to, I heard that you had a program with Charlotte, an extreme mentoring program
Yes.
with economic development. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. We felt that we as an organization have been growing so much that instead of all of our resources being focused on the membership, that it was time to do some community outreach. And so with the help of the Charlotte City of Economic Development Commission, they were able to give us we've developed an extreme mentor program, and 3 women who are starting up new businesses were selected to work for an entire year with a group of mentors that are made up of women business owners that are members of NAWBO, as well as very successful business women in the city of Charlotte. And in essence, starting them from scratch, business plan, budgets, and it has really been not only beneficial for them, but a great value for those of us who are mentors to be reminded of the basics of the foundation of how you make sure that you're in check as a good business. So yes, it's been very, very valuable.
So you had direct access, so this was arranged between Charlotte
Yes.
and 3 businesses in Charlotte.
Correct. Yes, and they are, in essence, they found them through the fact that they are certified women-owned businesses. And out of several to choose from, in our first year, we certainly didn't want to take on too much. So we've selected 3, and wide variety of businesses. And so with the help of, this is being hosted at Montreat College. And they bring in some instructors as well as some of the experts in particular fields.
This is quite a program then.
It's a year long, and so they're just doing an amazing job. We started in January, so in this short amount of 3 to 4 months, it is amazing to me what progress they have made.
Wow, that's interesting. What about grants or when a new business needs capital?
Yes, it's a great question.
Can you give people advice on that?
Absolutely. And
that's the problem today. People want to start a business, but they don't have capital with this credit crunch.
Absolutely. And what's very interesting is that most likely, in most cases, when you first start off, your capital is coming from either your personal savings, or it may be coming from the credit cards that you already possess, or from friends and family. And by far, those are probably the 3 most risky means of capital when you're starting your business, and that's why so many of the people who are just starting out are going to end quickly, because that will run out so soon.
Right.
So then you have wonderful organizations that are both national and here in the region. You have the SBA, of course. You have SCORE, which stands for the Service Corps of Retired Executives, that act as consultants to you to offer advice on where to get that capital. There certainly, as you're more advanced, you learn about angel investors, or you learn about venture capital.
Are there a lot of angel investors?
I think that there is certainly an effort to increase the number of angel investors for women-owned businesses, because I think that many times when you talk about trying to get investors or grants, you realize that is a very thorough and time-consuming process. It's usually a lot of paperwork. You have to have that business plan very sharp and very strong, and some people find it's the choice between, do I take the time to do it so that I can get that, or is time running out, I want my business to go, and they just use those smaller means of capital like a credit card, and in most cases, sadly, they choose to the shortest or fastest way to money.
Oh, it's probably the easiest way at the moment. That's the problem.
But one of the great examples here in Charlotte is an organization known as BEFCOR, B-E-F-C-O-R. It's BEFCOR.com. That stands for Business Expansion Funding Corporation. And one of the great ways they do is, say you are now one step into your business and you want to buy an office space, you want to buy a building. They have a fantastic loan program specifically for business expansion. And again, I just looked at their rate today. They are insanely low compared to say banks or others.
It's like an economic development corporation.
Absolutely.
Is that what it is?
So it's definitely a place to to talk to. It really is amazing in Charlotte, the market as a whole, how many resources there are to help you find funding. And if you take the time, it really is very, very valuable.
Yeah, listen, I think that's very helpful, especially in the credit crunch that we have. People need capital, and most businesses fail because of undercapitalization. This is a big problem. So if they are, most people are not aware of these programs. And coming from New York, I know that we had these programs, but they were very stingy at the time because there was a lot of money involved, and you just want to make sure it was done properly. Then they got too loose, and this is why we're in this economic crisis that we're in. Social networking, Arouna, this is
Yes.
the thing.
Yes.
Okay, you hear about tweeting and twittering and Facebooking and all kinds of things. Can you tell us how important this is to a new business owner right now?
How much time do we have?
Oh, we've got time.
Facebook and the social network.
Can you keep it under 2 days?
Oh, I'm going to try, but there's so much out there that you could get plugged into. A lot of businesses are utilizing LinkedIn and Plaxo, and they're also going towards Facebook and even Twitter. And the key ingredient is really just to get your name out there on these social network sites. Get people to just, sign them up as your friend. Most people won't reject you because if they know you've met them somewhere, especially any type of networking opportunity, you've met them, got a business card, just ask them. They'll be your friend. And on top of that, you can sign up your business. You could do your personal site and you could business site.
So you could have to set up really two setups.
You could, absolutely.
Or should you?
I would definitely recommend so, yes. Because a lot of people want to get to know you personally. You don't have to put a lot of too personal images on there. Of course, we don't want to do that anyway because it's the internet and anybody can get access to that at some
once
point.
it's on there, it's on there.
Correct, yeah. So my goal, my recommendation is really for people to start utilizing it just to brand events or anything new that they have going on in their business. Any, for us, a website that we launched or somebody we're working with or any type of organizational activities that we're involved in, just to let people know that you're out there, you're involved, and that they have access to you. And one of the reasons, and it's to keep your brand out there. That's why.
Is it worth the trouble? It just seems like it takes so much time.
It's a lot of time.
How much time do we have to do all these things?
You just have to make time. If it's, a lot of people are getting connected and staying connected that way. And I do recommend people do spend time doing it because it is a lot of work, a lot of time. And you also can hire somebody to do it for you if you want to.
Well, that leads into a whole nother thing about virtual assistants. So that's a whole nother niche industry that's developing.
Correct.
But now the Twittering, I think, is so interesting because you're limited to 140 characters and you have to follow people and people follow you. And I mean, it just seems so involved with the time. I mean, how does that really help? I mean, I know Ellen is on Twitter and I think Oprah's on Twitter.
It's just a way to get connected because every time people send you a message, it does email you. And you are notified of it, whether it's your email at work or your personal email, whichever one you decide to set it up with. But it's the access to everybody is what makes it so unique right now because everybody spent a lot of time on the internet. I mean, I could get access to you and just to let you know, hey, I'm reminded because I see your face. Maybe you're doing something new. Like, hey, Joe, hey, let's catch up. I need to talk to you about such and such. And you'll schedule time with them.
So it is working. I mean, these things are working.
They are working. They are working. I mean, I've scheduled appointments from there before. Just to,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And people, and they'll invite you in, especially with LinkedIn. I don't know if you're familiar with LinkedIn, but that's more of the real professional side. It's more like an online resume. And you, again, can post what you're doing.
Is LinkedIn more of a resume type networking, or is it more of a business?
It is more business than Facebook, but Facebook has grown to that side now. But LinkedIn and Plaxo, it's been around for some time, more as an online resume.
I've heard of Plaxo. Actually, my virtual assistant signed me up for the Plaxo. I'm just trying to get the time to get involved in all these things. But I guess this is what you advise your fellow members to do and the new members to do.
I would
involved in
absolutely,
it.
yeah, it's just to get yourself as branded as possible.
Right, that's the whole thing, is getting branded, and that's obviously it.
A great example with that, that it helps your business, is going to be, say you are involved in LinkedIn and you are trying to, you're about to present or give a proposal to a potential new business. And so you want to go on there and see if you can find anyone who works for that company so that you can start getting information that will be very helpful to you when you give that presentation. It just gets you a more personal connection as opposed to that very dry presentation. If I'm giving one to you and I know that you're a big fan of the Giants, now we can talk about that as opposed to just talking about, numbers or profit or things like that. It becomes a more personal connection, and you tend to do business more so with, with people that you feel like you know.
Well, this has been very helpful, and I just hope a lot of women are watching today to get some information and join NAWBO. Matter of fact, I discussed this with my wife, and that's one of the reasons I asked about maybe I might attend a meeting on her behalf, but she started a nonprofit for financial literacy. So we're looking to get involved in some activities as well, which could be interesting. That's kind of part of the theme of the show as well. But I want to thank Celia Klein and Arouna McEwen for coming down today. And thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very
you.
much.